Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, being on my channel. I'm so happy you're here. We are rapidly and radically transforming from narcissistic abuse into our most abundant, authentic, powerful lives, right? By understanding the spiritual truth behind it, radically elevating our consciousness, using tools that heal trauma, heal PTSD, and change the patterning, right, of what's kept us stuck in trauma, feeling broken, broke and in chains, right? So that we can break free, come into ourselves, come true to ourselves. Because we live, I did a module today in Sovereign, and it's about integrity. But the thing is, like, in a narcissistically abusive relationship, one of the hardest things is you're forced to betray yourself all the time, yeah? Because it's a survival thing. You can't be true to yourself, what you want and need and who you are, because you've got to be what they need you to be. And very often the trauma and the traps have linked that to our survival, right? So it's like the self-betrayal is what causes the shame, the guilt, the disgust. And to be quite honest, the narcissist should be feeling all those things, not you. They should be ashamed, but they're not. You know, my clients are constantly saying, like, because the narcissist will use things that will try and hook on your emotions again, like how much they're suffering and in pain. They are not. They are a void. They are empty. They might be they need to fill their life with other people and supply and alcohol and addictions and all sorts of things because they're empty. But don't make any mistake. If you were truly miserable, you wouldn't use the same words they use, right? You would be describing what it actually feels like, how it's impacting your life. They'll rarely do that. They'll give you like a really blanket, cold, unemotional statement. Yeah, I can't cope. Or, you know, just to shut you up or hook in, like help you hook into a projected pain you have for them that would ignite your empathy and make you care. But what I really want to talk about on this video is dealing with the betrayal, not just from them, which is huge, but also like the flying monkeys and neighbours, but the people you had around you that didn't believe you, you know, the other people in your life you trusted. What's fascinating to me is, right, most of the people were part of the smear campaigns when I was with narcissists, and they just literally wrote me off. Didn't matter how long I'd known them for. You know, like, it wasn't cool to be around someone that was now losing everything. It was very cool when I'd come over to the States and I had like a good career and I'd been like the hotshot, everyone wants to be around you. And it is true when people say you find out when your friends are, I would say this to this saying, people say you find out who your friends are, you know, in certain times of your life. I think if you don't have discernment, that's when you'll find out. But actually, we never wanted those kind of friends anyway. So, of course, when they were more attracted to who they thought I was, because I looked something special in their eyes in some way, than actually who I am, then they quickly fell away. And as soon as it got messy, didn't want to know me. And while I completely believe in, and I'm full-heartedly for personal responsibility, like, it's no one's job to have housed me when I was homeless. It was no one's job to have picked up my mess. It was my job to figure my life out, right? And actually I found a lot of power in that in some ways. People still, outside of the narcissistic abuse and the smear campaign, the few people I did know, they knew a tiny bit of what was going on. The people I did share a tiny bit with, they pretty much disappeared, yeah? Nowhere to be seen. Yeah, people that I'd been in communications with. Now, of course, as they saw me rise from the dead, get successful again, look better, like, you know what I mean, seem to be showing up more in the world again, they all rise from the dead and want to just pick up where they left off. They're not narcissists, but here's the thing on this, right? It was no one's responsibility to understand it. It was my responsibility to heal and deal with it. But I don't want those people in my life. I don't think they've got any right to come back into my life now because they see me as something that they now view as successful or credible or valid and want to be friends. Yeah? They're just not. I've already learned that I love myself. I've already learned that I want a better quality of life. I've already learned that I want people who care about me for me and aren't there just for the good times. And when shit gets hard, it's not their fault actually. Because, like, look, if people can't handle pain in themselves, they definitely can't hold it in you. I'm so good at holding people, my clients, right? Because your pain doesn't trigger me. I don't need to reject you because I'm being triggered by what you say. A lot of the time when people are shaming you or guilting you or need to get the fuck away from you, is because they're triggered. And that's you know, they need to leave then. Everyone's got to, like, look after themselves, to be honest. Like, they've got to, our job is to heal and become emotionally intelligent, and then we can be so much more loving in life, right? I can hold space for people because your pain doesn't trigger me. Your despair doesn't make me lose hope in you. You couldn't do anything to make me not see the power in you, but I'm also not denying your reality. And that's one thing I also do really strongly in my work with my clients, is where some people will put them in this illusion and say, just Pretend you feel great, this toxic positivity, I don't. I hold you in absolutely where you are. Like, we do not deny your reality, we face it radically, right? Because I don't believe you heal from denial. I believe you heal from facing. I had to face how fucking bad my life was, like really, really face it. And then, yeah, I hold space for the part of you that's beyond that. But I don't deny one, and that's what goes wrong in a lot of coaching, is that's why therapy's, between coaching and therapy, there's this magic space that I think I've cracked, where it's like the transformation's there and the personal development and growth, but there's also this lack of denial that sometimes the coaching world can have, where it's just like, think positive, come on, motivate, but you're going through hell, and now your whole reality is denied, and you just can't cope with it. So, look, I can forgive and let go of people in a beautiful way. I teach boundaries, standards and values, right, in my work, because that gives me a GPS system that I know that I'm being true in integrity with me, right? And now I have a really clear idea of who I want in my life. I also have a busy life, a life I'm enjoying, a life that I've built myself out of the fucking pits of hell. Do you know what I mean? That is beautiful. And I am not sacrificing or compromising that for anyone. Yeah, even clients, like people think, oh, I'll just pay her. No, I don't take everyone's money. It's got to be good for me too. Not because I'm so rich now that I don't need money to survive, because I care about my quality of life and I know I'll survive no matter what, right? I've got a care in things. You can't buy me, you can't trick me. I don't need a friend enough to sit on the phone with you when it's not good for me. I don't need anything anymore, but I love everything. It's kind of like that. That's how I feel about money. It's like nothing owns me, nothing controls me. Of course, I need to have enough to survive, like to keep the basic things, well, not just basic, a good life, an abundant life, but it doesn't own me. My identity is not attached, right? So how I feel about the people that then, it's so amazing to me recently, how many people just suddenly, oh, hi. Haven't heard from you from a few years, and you knew I was going through hell, and like, I don't even know. Like, they're not narcissists, it's just like people can't deal with stuff. It's kind of like, yeah, call me. So if you've not got the emotional intelligence, yeah, call me when things calm down. Can't handle your emotion, can't deal with any shit, let's just pretend life's really even so. Now, that's just an emotional intelligence thing, and not every friend is supposed to hold us. We are meant to go to coaches and therapists and mentors and plug in places like this to become emotionally intelligent. It's not our job to dumb shit on people at all. That's not support in a relationship. Support is actually, look, holding a friend, I don't think it means that you become like the waste garbage bin where they just get to dump their problems on you and your whole relationship becomes a dumping ground. That doesn't feel good. It's not making you more of you or her or him more of them, right? So there is space to say, like, I'm going through stuff and I'm finding it hard. And then a friend could say, well, what are you doing about it? You know, like, do you need some help with the groceries? But they're not trying to fix your life. You know, they've got to trust you with your life. But still, my standard now for the people in my life have got to mirror me. I have an energetic match, right? Which is heart-centered people. I have an energetic match for the people on my channel. I don't suffer bullies. I don't care if you're here just for your entertainment. You need to go and watch something else. This isn't for that. This is for people who are radically willing to transform, who want to come into their spirituality, really, like their ascension, and they want to learn different tools. They want to, the humans here melt my heart every day, because for a while I thought the world had gone bleak. You know, that people were just so mean. But every time I see people here, it's like, we've been through the fucking worst and we are so sweet. Yeah? Like, I know I can create my own world. I know there's people on here that think like me, feel like me, care like me. You know what I mean? And they've been through the worst. And if they can be beautiful after the worst things, then the narcissists and the people who are shitty have no excuse. Yeah? And there are people that cannot hold your pain, but a lot of people who are just, you know, not willing to look at themselves and grow will just avoid you in your pain until you get better, because they're not doing the emotional work. They're not doing the personal growth work that could actually hold a human. And to hold a human, you're not supposed to fix their problems. You just don't push them away because they're dealing with something scary or difficult or something that you don't like having to deal with. You don't judge them as like inferior anymore because they're going through a hard time. Because some of those people going through a hard time will blow your mind when they rise like not like a phoenix, like something that is like on fire, set the world on fire. You know what I mean? Because they're the strongest people on the planet when they come through the other side. They were the strongest people anyway to even go through half of what they went through. You know what I mean? So the people here, we've been through hell, like a lot of us. You know what I mean? And it's like when you can go through that and have your heart intact, that is strength. That is such power. And then what you choose to do with it is up to you, right? But power doesn't come in the forced domination and control of our world. It comes in these beautiful packages that people misunderstand because they think it's weak, because they think you should become like them and bite back. So I feel like in this thing of betrayal, what did I do? I kind of forgive everyone because I understand they can't hold what they can't hold. And I kind of see it as now, like I get to create a beautiful life. I've been through hell. I don't like it there. I understand that even where I thought it didn't matter, even where I thought, oh, I'll just let this person in, and people forced their way into my life. We were talking earlier in one of the videos, a lady, Jane, was saying about one of these bullies, like criticising all of my physical appearance, definitely tried to bring me down. She'd brought down another girl in the community who was now an alcoholic, like really messed up when I got there. And, you know, people were bullying her, and it was weird to me, but this woman had just brought her down. She was jealous and she was a narcissist and she just attacked her, right? So I've been through all these bad experiences, and I'm not happy with just people. I now have had to develop myself at such a level that why not create a beautiful life? I'm not expecting a lot from people. It's like, you know, I don't think in terms of like, it's not, no one's perfect. I just want human. I just want kind. I just want empathetic. I just want the love I give on some level. Maybe not as hard, maybe not the same. I love all sorts of people. I can enjoy all sorts of people. But the people that when life gets hard are going to disappear and contact you 2 years later, then they knew what was going on and turned a blind eye. They're not for me. The people that, you know, like judged me and were ashamed to know me when before I realised the only reason they knew me in the first place because they were impressed by my resume or something I had at the time, and when that wasn't there anymore, there wasn't enough. Didn't matter what I'd done for them or who I'd been. They're not for me. Yeah, they're just not for me. I've learned so much about like not being like, you see, I don't like what people teach people about, you know, this women thing, like, I don't need a man. I believe every woman and every man need each other. I believe that, or, you know, you can have same-sex relationships, whatever it is, but I believe we all need each other. That's not healthy, right? I'm not dependent on anyone, right? I'm interdependent. I'm totally sovereign, and if you're sovereign and I'm sovereign, we can rock together, and we might have things to heal, but we jam together without kind of pushing our stuff on each other. It's amazing, but I believe we all need each other, right? But not to survive. Yeah, my life gets more beautiful when I add money, when I add people, when I add beautiful relationships. But I am absolutely okay. I am absolutely okay, like just with myself and supporting myself. So everything else is extra. So when everything else is extra, I'm not needing anything from it. And when I'm not needing anything from it, I set boundaries, values, and standards of what I actually want. And then I work on myself to become the energetic match to it. So if I want beautiful people in my life, I've got to be a good one. You know, how do I want people to treat me? I've got to treat them. Yeah, I was doing a client call today and she would talk about like safety and security in our businesses, and I was saying like, you know, then if you want to receive, like if you want to feel really safe in your business, you've got to be a safe person. You've got to pay your client, you've got to pay your coaches on time, you've got to pay your staff on time, you've got to be the thing you want to receive. In our intimate relationships, if I want truth, honesty, integrity, right, then I've got to be an energetic match. I've got to be willing to go first on that too. Yeah? So I'm not expecting more than I give, but I'm certainly not forgetting anything that happened to me. Yeah? Oh, it's time. Ding, 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 ding. Everything came to the light, right? Now I get to create what I want, and I'm discerning. I've learned things. I was naive. I was naive because I didn't understand evil. That was why I was naive, probably the same reason you are. I didn't understand evil at all. It was so unreal to me. Now I do. And the people that betrayed me, they weren't all evil. Some of them were just probably scared. I don't care. They're not the people I want in my life. They don't get a seat at the table right now because I'm creating something beautiful, right? And so therefore, beautiful people can come in, and that can make me seem like a complete bitch. And right now, I don't care because there's nothing bitchy about me. I had to learn hard lessons in life, and I had to learn that if I take someone, I got forced into so many friendships and relationships that I knew weren't right for me because I didn't know how to say no. And it's not that, as I say, I don't need perfect people. I love all sorts of people. It's not even your career. It's not anything to do with that. It's not a judgment. It's just an open heart. It's just the kind of relationship I want to experience, and I know what that feels like now. Yeah, I have it with my dogs. So like anything else doesn't hit the bar. I don't feel a loss. I don't feel obliged. I teach people about fear, obligation and guilt, like losing these things, coming out of what I call fog in the Sovereign program. It's so powerful to be in there. We're opening it again in May, right? Please come in there if you can. It's so powerful. I'll give you a payment plan up, and you have to be paid in full when we join because I'm not a finance company, but like I can do something or you can save up for it. But it's such a beautiful thing. Right? But here's the thing, I've just got different standards now and I don't feel guilty about them. I just want a beautiful life, and I'm willing to do the work to be the person that is the match that deserves those things because I'm an energetic match, right? And I'm not asking anyone in my life to do anything that I wouldn't be prepared to give them. But the people who want to just think they can be entitled to me in any way, they're not just narcissists, without giving what I'm consenting to give, it's not okay with me. In my inner circle, I don't have a lot of free time. I don't want it. I love my work. I want to help people this work I want to do so much in the world. I really care, right? So I want to work hard. I really do. And I do work hard and I love it. So in my free time, I haven't got a lot of spaces. And in those spaces, I want the quality that I'll give. I don't want anything else, right? So the people that are popping up from the dead because now they think I'm doing something exciting again and they want to get in on it, there's just no room. Yeah, no hard feelings and there's just no room. We're not friends. We're not friends. We're not actually friends in my way of what I want to experience, but we like each other. We can love each other from afar. That's how I feel about it. So like we get to choose. I'll show you the dogs. The dogs are capable of unconditional love. You see, humans aren't. And so I don't expect everyone to be like my dogs. And sometimes they get stroppy and manipulative. The amount of emotional manipulation that gives me keeps me feeding them extras and doing all sorts of things. But ultimately, they have got a high quality of unconditional love. We'll talk to these guys. I'm not sure why I'm sharing them. They're obviously asleep. They cannot be bothered to discuss it. But I have a beautiful quality of relationship with them. They made me happy when I had nothing in the world. They were the thing that I could always keep, that they had, I don't know, there was something in that. And there's something in what we choose to create. And there's something in find it where you can. That's what I say to you. When you find it, hold on to it. And when it's not there, let it go. Just let it go. Cut them loose. I set us all free. I'm not looking to judge people, fix them, explain to them what's wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with them if they're not for me. They're just not for me. Yeah, I could have more fun with my guys, my doggies, running around like I do, like a crazy bitch, just literally screaming in the park with them and having fun and feeling so fucking grateful to be alive and so grateful that I had them through all the hell I went through. You know what I mean? And anything that isn't comparable to that, it's just extra. I don't need it. Right, so I can love it, but I don't need it in my life anymore. Yeah, there's no hook. Yeah, and there's no blame, and there's no hate, and there's no need to change anyone. There's just what do I want to experience? And then what don't I want to experience? Okay, now I know. Now my values, boundaries, and standards. It's not a judgment that someone's less than me if I don't want them in my world. It's I've only got a limited amount of time for personal relationships, and they have to really matter to me, because anyone in my life at a close level will really matter to me, and I have to matter to them. That's it, really. So that's what I'm sharing. I hope that makes sense. I've just been out by the pool. Very nice day today. Lots of love, guys. I'll speak to you soon.